coming. It's here. What are you going to tell the people? 30 days. Are you going to say, I done everything laid in my power to help you? Or are you going or with some of you, are you going to be honest with people and say, well, I thank you for the check that you give me for the last term? Very sad, is it not? Would you like to pay me to come over and cut your yard and me cut half of it and say, give me my money? You'd say, no. The job ain't finished. The majority of you have not give us justice. Because we the people, are the ones that's paying you people. And no doubt every one of you sitting up there has more education than I've got. But when you get out to campaign, don't tell people what a great job you done for them.
Thank you.
Because if you do, you're going to have to answer to the one that's sitting way up yonder. Think about that when you meet them. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Our final speaker this evening is Karen Springer. Good evening.
Good evening.
Ms. Springer's asked for a little bit of levity on the time. She said that she would need a little bit more than 3 minutes.
Is that acceptable? I'll need some help with the overhead.
Okay, can we have someone from communications turn on the overhead, please?
Behind it, so keep it to our program. Let's see if it works. Do you have to put it sideways? Because I have another one too. Is that how it works?
Yeah, in order for it to be straight up there.
Okay. Okay. You'll be with her. The whole point is to give encouragement to the City Council to do the right thing and to think for the safety and health of the citizens of Warren as well as yourself, because we're all a homeowner. I know we're a citizen, and we do live in the state of Michigan. As we know, the smart meters are coming to our area. They're not deployed yet, but I think we can do the right thing by making a resolution, thinking about it, looking at what other townships and cities around us are doing about this, and even the states around us. Some states are not even participating yet because somehow of these smart meters yet. I know the water department is putting on a new meter and they don't want to call it a smart meter, but I do feel as a citizen I need to know exactly the meter installation guideline booklet, which would be referred to a Neptune. I have not received any information from the water department to my request, and I would like the City Council to follow up on that request for me. As you can see on the first diagram, it talks about the first meter to automatic meter. And just for the sake of education, this meter that the water department is going to put on, even though we don't call it a smart meter, it has the capability, and if it's a meter that's digital, it's a smart meter. I know the smart meter's got a bad rap because of our efforts, but I do believe that the meters are considered smart or advanced by virtue of their underlying technology, which replaces the outdated electromagnetic mechanical meters with digital meters that enable advancing communications and data relay. The three functions that make a meter smart are the ability to take the interval measurements, measuring both what was consumed and when, automatic transmission of the resulting data, eliminating the need of the manual reading, and two-way communications, the ability to both listen and talk. I just really want to stress that the emissions from the electromagnetic field is invisible and odorless. Because of the symptoms of becoming ill by headaches, insomnia, heart pulsations, etc., and down the road, cancer. This is a serious deployment of not just 1 meter, but 3 meters times 4 million people in the state of Michigan. This electronic field is already existing with our cell towers and our cell phones. And just recently, the WHO organization has shown the connection between cancer that can be caused from this new technology that we've been using and people are not educated about it. It's a choice we have. I have no choice with a smart meter on my home. And I will defend my home and make the appropriate decision of keeping what I have. And if it comes down to turning off my water, like they informed me, I would have to learn how to do that like my ancestors did, and bring in water to my home and not have the city provide me with the service of water to my home. I do not want this meter on my home and installed. They're going to be installing them soon in our south end, and I'm worried about my safety and health. That's number one. Here's what they're going to give us. A notice, the day of installing these meters is not fair to the consumer at all. I put together 1 to 10 documents. The city of Oak Park did do an excellent job on a resolution that you can consider. The resolution from California is excellent too, to consider the type of concerns they have. The Michigan Consumer Protection Act, Act 331 of 1976, also helps us as a consumer to protect our rights to health, safety, and any deception and unfair practices by a business. The smart meters was also challenged. Attorney. And this document is labeled number, I don't have it in order, 10, and just go over what he has really talks about, our privacy issue, and of course health and safety is what I feel is no negotiations at all with DTE Energy. If they're not safe, take another 5 to 10 years and build them safe. Get the safety switch on them. Again, I thank you for the concern. And remember, the first and foremost, our wireless meters mandatory. Check it out. I received that letter and I gave it to you March 17th. The Michigan Public Service Commission said it's mandatory. This document says, no, the federal government, including the DOE, does not have any role in regulating the installation of smart meters, nor does it have a policy about the mandatory adoption of smart meters. I'm confused. If there's no law, how can DTE come on my property, put these meters on, and you guys...
Madam Chair, motion to extend the speaker's time.
She's already over by a minute. I told her I'd give her a little levity, so that's good to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I will wrap it up shortly. It's been a long evening. I realize you took a lot of heat tonight because it is election time. We have to remind ourselves as citizens to speak with dignity and respect on both sides, even though sometimes I have to refrain from not being the same way. I can get emotional and upset when something doesn't go my way either. So, in brief, where is the authority to make this a mandatory action, even though the approval to change my old meter to a new meter? But if it's not safe and there's no laws to protect the issue of safety and health, let's make some ordinances. Start with the local, then work your way up to the state, then go to the governor. You have the power. Please do this before the election. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We did get an additional speaker in, Joe Dabrowski. Good evening.
Good evening. Barely. I brought some notes of some things that have really been bothering me of late. But one thing that's really been bothering me for a few months now, and I finally I've heard about all I could hear of it tonight. I have to correct Mr. Sawyer, because he puts out misinformation after misinformation after misinformation. I have no problem with the fact that Mr. Birdie helped with the EMS situation, but that was 100% spearheaded by Ms. Camp, and nobody seems to want to give her the credit for that. And I can understand Mr. Sawyer not wanting to do that, because he is, after all, an opponent. So I think the record just needs to reflect how, in fact, that came to be. With that being said, I think what you guys need to do, and somebody should probably try and do this tonight, I think you guys need to revamp our sign ordinance. If you look around, this city looks absolutely disgusting. You have one-sided signs all over the city that are as bad a blight, if not more so, than a lot of the homes. You have campaign signs on vacant, abandoned gas stations, which is absolutely disturbing to me. Is that your vision for the future of our city? I think that's absolutely disturbing. Campaign signs should be limited to your own district. This whole process is so confusing to people now. I've had people say, oh, I'm going to vote for so-and-so. You can't vote for so-and-so, they're not in your district. Well, then why are there signs in my district? I guess because they're lost, or they really don't have a clue what it is they're actually doing. You know, you look at 10 Mile and Ryan, 10 Mile and DeQuinder, there's signs for people who have no business having signs there because it's not their district. It's a shame. And they just make it worse and worse all the time. Signs on vacant property, not just the gas stations, vacant car lots. People put signs on the property lines in between two properties so you can't tell who gave you the permission. That's a shame also. So I think you guys really need to revamp that. No more than one sign per person on a piece of property. You ride up and you'll see somebody has two signs on the same corner. When you do that with 3 or 4 people, you have a corner that has 12 signs, and it really looks trashy. Go look at the corner of 12 Mile and DeQuinder, one of the biggest eyesores in the city. 10 Mile and Ryan, same thing, really looks trashy. 9 Mile and Ryan, campaign signs on a closed up, boarded up, abandoned gas station. Really is disturbing. Then the last thing I want to touch on, I got a campaign flyer from the mayor, and I found this absolutely